Hi everyone, welcome to this video on time signatures. This video is going to concentrate on how we work out a time signature from looking at the music. So before we start this, we must know the values of the different notes and what the different notes look like, okay? If you don't know this, you're not going to understand the rest of it and you're not going to be able to do the question. So before you even go any further in this video, go on to Quizlet, and go through the flashcards for note values and get these learned off by heart. If you also, you can go online and Google note values. You can find lots of charts and tables. There's something in your revision booklet that you've been sent as well, but you must know these before you go any further. So if you don't know them off by heart, stop this video now and go and do that. If you know your note values, let's have a look at these here. We can go through them. So we've got our crotchet here, which lasts 1 beat. We've got our dotted crotchet, which lasts 1.5 beats. So it's very important we know these note values. We've got our minim, which is 2 beats. We've got our dotted minim, which is 3 beats. Our semi-brief, which is 4 beats. And then we come to this one here, which is our quaver. Now a quaver is a half beat, and that's quite important when we come to looking at time signatures that are compound time. It's important that we know that's what a quaver looks like, and that's half a beat long. And this one here with the 2 tails that you can see here, see how this one has 2 tails and the quaver has 1 tail. That one is a semi-quaver, and that lasts 1/4 of a beat. Moving on further from the quaver and the semi-quaver, if we get 4 semi-quavers together, it looks like this. We get 4 of them joined together. Make sure we colour the note heads in, and they are joined together like that, and then they have 2 lines at the top like this. And because there's 4 quarters, quarter each for each of these notes, 4 of them together lasts 1 beat, or is equal to a crotchet, because a crotchet is 1 beat, okay? On to quavers. If we get more than 1 quaver next to each other, it will look like this. So we'll get quaver here, and then they kind of join together with 1 line at the top like that, okay? Now, quavers as well in compound time can join in groups of 3. You can see here that this is a quaver that is, this is 2 quavers that are joined together in a group of 2, okay? Quavers can also join together in a group of 3, which looks like this. Get 1, 2, 3, and again, they just get joined at the top like that, with just 1 line across the top, and that's 3 quavers. That is not the same as this. If you see that 3 there, that means it's a triplet. And that's completely different to 3 quavers joined together, all right? Worth bearing in mind, the value of 2 quavers grouped together, because we have 2 half beats, is equal to 1, or equal to a crotchet, right? Because that's 1 beat as well. When we have 3 quavers joined together, draw a 3rd quaver there, that is equal to 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So that's equal to 1.5, which is also equal to a dotted crotchet, because that's 1.5 beats. So that's worth remembering again for later in the video when we look at working out our time signature. Okay, so that's our note values. Let's move on to how we work out these time signatures. So when you see a piece of music, it will have a time signature at the start of the music. So it will be just after the treble clef, and let's say there is a key signature. There we go, we'll make this one in G major. It will come after that, so it could be something like that, all right? And you'll see there we have a top number and a bottom number. And these can be different combinations. We could have 3/4. We could have 4/4, we could have 6/8, we could have 2/4, we could have 12/8, 9/8, 7, 4. Lots of different combinations we can have there. So how do we work that out from the music if that time signature is absent? Well, there's two ways to do this. Sorry, not two ways, there's two steps to do this. One, work out the bottom number, and two, work out the top number. It's as simple as that. So let's take each of these steps by themselves and take them one at a time and work out how to do this, okay? Okay, so let's take step one. Work out the bottom number. To work out the bottom number in the time signature, look at the music, and what I would suggest you do is find any quavers in the music, okay? And see how they're joined. Are they in groups of 2 or are they joined in groups of 3? So you can see in this first example here, let's say this example 1 and this example 2. We're looking for quavers. So we've got a group of quavers here and we've got a group of quavers there. Now we can see that these quavers are in groups of 2. So that means that this piece of music is in simple time. And when a piece of music is in simple time, the bottom number of the time signature will be 4. So let's write that in. There we go. We've worked out our bottom number for example 1. Let's do the same now for example 2. Let's find any quavers we can find. Okay, so we can see here we've got quavers here. Remember, we know they're quavers because they've got one line across the top joining them together. We've got a group of quavers there and a group of quavers there. Now, those quavers are joined together in 3s. So when quavers are joined in 3s, that means it's compound time. Okay, compound time. Now that means that our bottom number will be 8. Okay, so compound time is 8, simple time is 4. So if your quavers are in groups of 3, it's an 8 at the bottom. And if they're in groups of 2 like this, it's a 4 at the bottom. Okay? And it's as simple as that for our first step. Step 2, work out the top number. Okay, so we need to think a little bit here. Let's take this first example. I'll get rid of these red circles. There we go. So the next step is to work out how many beats we have in the bar for the top number. Now, when we're in simple time, you're simply working out the number of whole beats. So in simple time, your top number is the number of whole beats. And that's important. Okay, whole beats. So let's work that out by going through, just choose any bar and work out the number of beats. So we have a crotchet here, that's 1 beat. We have a crotchet there, that's 1 beat. We have 2 quavers joined here, so that's a half and a half, which equals 1 beat together. And then 1 beat here. Okay, so let's add this all up together. So we've got 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 4. We have 4 beats in that bar. So that means our top number is going to be 4. And that should be the same for any bar that we look at. So let's find another bar and look at the next bar and see if it works out. So we've got our semi-quavers here. So we've got quarters. Then we've got 2 quavers, so that's 2 halves. This is a quaver rest, so that lasts a half. This is a single quaver, so that's a half. And then we have a crotchet, which is 1. Add that all together, and again we have 4 beats. So yeah, our top number is 4. For this one, because it's in compound time, when it's in compound time we have an 8 as our bottom layer, we aren't looking for the number of whole beats. We are looking for the number of half beats or quavers. So for compound time, we're looking for the top number, the number of half beats. Okay. So let's pick a bar. Let's look at this first bar. So we have 2 dotted crotchets. So remember, a dotted crotchet is 1.5 beats altogether. So how many half beats would that be? We would have, in this one, if it's 1.5, we'd have a half beat, a half beat, and a half beat, wouldn't we? There'd be 3, because a half and a half is a whole, and then another half is 1.5. And then this is the same. It's made up of 3 half beats. So in total, how many half beats do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our top number should be 6. Let's double check that in the next bar. And we can see here, these are already these are all quavers, so that's half beats. So we just total up the number of half beats. And again, it's 6 half beats. Notice we don't add these together and make it 3 because we don't want the number of whole beats, we want the number of half beats. Okay, let's try that on a couple of new examples. Okay, so let's look at 2 examples just to consolidate our learning. So let's work out the time signature of our first example. So remember, we've got 2 steps to follow. 1, work out the bottom number. 2, work out the top number. So let's look at this first example and work out the bottom number. So remember, if the quavers are in groups of 2, it means it's in simple time and the bottom number will be 4. If our quavers are in groups of 3, it's compound time and our bottom number will be 8. Okay, so let's look at this first example and let's just look through for some quavers. Now, when you've got your piece of music, you would just look through the whole thing, try and find some quavers and just work out what groupings are in. So we can see here quite clearly that our quavers, we've got quavers grouped in 3s here. So that tells us that the piece is in compound time. So that means our bottom number is going to be 8. Okay, so that's step 1 done. Let's narrow it down. There we go. So it's 3 quavers joined together. And so compound time 8. Now let's go to step 2. Work out the top number. Remember, in compound time, we want the number of half beats. The number of quavers. Okay. So let's take a bar and work out how many half beats are in them. So we've got half beat there, half beat there, half beat there. And then remember, we've got 3 half beats in this one because that's 1.5. So actually, to make it simpler, I'm just going to write 3 times a half. And same with this one, 3 times a half. Okay, so let's work out our top number by counting the total number of half beats. So we've got 1, 2, 3, then another 3, which is 6, and then another 3, which is 9. So our top number is 9. So our time signature is 9/8. Let's go on to the next example. Example 2 down here. Let's work out our bottom number first. So remember, we're looking for quavers. If they're in groups of 2, it means it's in simple time, and it means the bottom number will be 4. If they're in groups of 3, it means it's in compound time, and it'll be in the bottom number will be 8. So let's look and see if we can find some quavers grouped together. So we can see them here. There's our quavers with the 1 line across the top, and I can see there that it's grouped together in a group of 2. So that means we're in simple time and the bottom number will be 4. So let's write the bottom number in. There we go. Oops. And then we need to work out the top number. Now remember, because it's in simple time, we're wanting to work out the number of whole beats. So number of whole beats. So it's a little bit simpler. So let's pick a bar. Let's pick the first one. We've got a crotchet, which is 1. And we've got a minim here, which is 2. So in total, that is 3 beats. So our top number is 3. Okay, I hope that helps you solve any time signature questions you get in your exam. See you in the next video.